Well, hello, Justin. Hello, Dedrick. Nye McGee here with EURweb.com. Pleasure to speak with you both about your very exciting series, Style Kings.
Shabella,
Are we
Shabella.
the kings of the style? Are we kings of styling and profiling?
Kings of
All of the above.
profiling, all of that. Hey, Nye, how are you?
I'm good, gentlemen. Thank you for giving me your time today to speak about this new Aspire TV series. Can you each share what inspired you to take part in Style Kings and how the concept of blending interior design with fashion came to life?
So this was the idea of Angela Cannon with Aspire, and when she talked about it, the excitement in her voice, I couldn't help but to say yes. She gave us the blueprint of mixing fashion with design and these two Black entrepreneurs showcasing this to the world in a positive light. And that for me was just everything that I needed to hear. So it was a yes from the get-go.
And how about you, sir, Mr. Thomas? Why was it a yes from you?
I concur with what Justin just said. The biggest thing is the show being positive and basically being able to share our journey with the world in a positive light and being able to have an opportunity to let the world know that Black style, reigns, I mean, across art, culture, and design.
Very good. And so, Justin, as an interior designer, what are some of the unique challenges and rewards of working with celebrity clients and high profile projects?
Oftentimes celebrity projects are typically rather easy for me because they typically just want it done and they want it done correctly. So we don't really have a lot of challenges there. Sometimes where the challenge comes in is when the client thinks that they're the designer. That can be a challenge. You can only have one designer, right? So that can be a challenge. But I feel like because it becomes a collaborative effort, as long as each person knows what they are supposed to contribute, we get along just fine.
Do you make a point to make sure, when you have those moments where the client thinks they're the designer, do you make a point to politely have final say?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it doesn't have to be nasty, it doesn't have to be anything like that where you're butting heads. It's a simple conversation. And I've done this before. I do this every single day. You called me to do this for you, and that's what I want to do.
Right
Yeah.
on.
Well, from my perspective, we have clients that's all over the board. Some clients are very engaged. Some clients are like, hey, my style, my swag, just make whatever you need to make and just let it be ready when it need to be made. But, I share some of the same things Justin just mentioned about some clients wanting to be the designer as well. For me, we'll be in the studio until 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, working on designs and things of that nature. Because a lot of my clients, some of them, that's when their day start. The day doesn't start until 8 o'clock at night. So I'm at the studio 12, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning doing what we do. But coming back to the question you had mentioned about how do you politely tell them, that you're the designer? Well, I just tell them, at the end of the day, it's a collaboration. But when the garment shows up, the things that I just didn't like, I just didn't make it that way. I just make it how I want to make it, and then they end up loving it. So it's a collaboration, and that's how I approach it.
So on that note, sir, Dedrick, as a custom suit designer for high profile clients, what's your process for creating pieces that reflect both luxury and individuality?
I think the key is first I understand the person, their character. I tell people all the time, I'm like your fashion. I'm like, how you have a tax consultant, they maximize your tax benefits but keep you within legal limits. That's exactly what I do on the fashion side. I got to understand who you are. I got to understand how I can push you, and that's the key. So once I understand that, I'm able to then guide them to the right destination because I tell my clients all the time, you see the fog, I see the destination. So I'm going to guide them through the fog to the destination.
And one more quick follow-up question for you, sir. How does your work, specifically, this question is about the series. How does your work in fashion intersect with Justin's world of interior design, right? Do you find that the two art forms influence each other in unique ways?
When I started Hadiaki, I always told clients that it was the cross-pollination. Cross-pollination is a Mississippi word, okay? Cross-pollination of arts fashion and interiors, because I do think it influenced both. You know, a representation of your home or how you feel where you live, a representation of how you look and how you show up. It intersects. So most definitely.
And Justin, what are some of your favorite design trends or elements that you're excited to showcase on the series? And kind of tie into your answer, how do you infuse luxury into your work?
Yeah, so one of my biggest elements that I'm most proud of is always lighting. I feel like lighting is a huge factor when it comes to designing a space, right? Because you need it to be illuminated. You need to showcase it in a proper light. And so on the show, you'll see a lot of that where you'll have these luxury lighting elements, whether it's a chandelier or a wall sconce or a uplight, things of that nature to highlight the pieces that you're putting into a space. So that's one of my most favorite elements when it comes to design.
How do you each, as experts in two different creative fields, how do you each complement each other's work on the show?
I feel like in just watching the show, it's the process, right? Watching Dietrich's process, watching my process, and how they fuse together because we are taking these clients on a journey. And I love it when Dietrich says guiding them through the fog because they can't see anything. We have the vision for their garments or their space, and it's up to us to guide them through. And so the guiding through is the process, and that's one thing that I feel like we both fuse really well on.
Yes, I totally agree. The journey for sure.
What are you most excited about viewers experiencing from your designs and Style Kings?
How my design becomes a part of their personality and how it pushes them beyond limits that they didn't know exist.
And how do you think the show will influence the perception of custom tailoring and fashion?
I mean, I think it's already influencing it because I get a bunch of calls all the time, and not just influencing from the industry in general, but in influencing it from the standpoint that this is an African American male behind that influence that's normally wasn't didn't exist in the past.
Now, on this show, viewers will get an intimate look into the brotherhood between the two of you.
Mhm.
How has your collaboration on this show, if in any way, influenced your approach to design both creatively and professionally?
I would say, Justin and I have talked about different things in terms of how we intersect. In the show, I think what's been so great so far is that it shows our individual craft, you know, independent of each other, but also you can see how they intersect organically. And I think that over time, as we continue this process and as we continue this journey down the road, is that viewers going to be able to see us come together and do some great things together.
And that was even interesting to me because I never thought that, the fashion industry and the interiors industry had so many similarities until I met Dietrich and we started, showcasing what he does and showcasing what I do and seeing how the similarities are in each field. So it's something that I think will also surprise the audience.
So, this show highlights the contribution of Black men to art and culture. Justin, why is it important for you to bring this narrative to the forefront in the design and fashion? Well, this question is for both of you, for interior design and fashion. Both of you can take it. Why is it important for each of you to bring this narrative to the forefront in the design and fashion industries?
For me, it was I didn't have any Black male figures growing up that I saw on television, that I saw in interior design. I didn't even know interior design was a job, but I just knew that I loved it. And most of the people that I had to look up to were, white interior designers. And that was my inspiration. So I want to be, the next generation's inspiration. I want them to see themselves on television. And I love the Aspire slogan, which is see yourself here, because they will be able to see what we do as Black men and know that they can also do it too.
Yeah, I agree with that. I tell individuals and I tell people I talk to all the time that for me, it was important, being from a small town, in Pickens, Mississippi, I just want to be able to show kids that you can accomplish anything you put your mind to if it's what you want to do. So just being able to share my journey, I think Justin's been able to share his journey with, being that he was born in Alabama, so being able to share those stories and people understand that they can accomplish the same thing that we have accomplished and we still are accomplishing, because we are still learning too along this journey, and we want to continue to perfect who we are. So it just allows people to follow us and us share our stories and hopefully be a motivation to younger kids coming up that's interested in design and fashion.
This show showcases your work, not only showcases your work, but also you have these open conversations about your artistic process. So, Justin, what do you hope viewers will take away from those discussions about the creative journey?
What I hope that viewers will take away is patience. It takes a lot of patience to do what we do. And I know that sometimes people, in their anxieties get the best of them, but just be patient when you're dealing with an artist who is trying to assist you in elevating your life. Because essentially that's what we're trying to do. With me, I'm trying to elevate your home, the space that you see every day, and your process at home. So patience is what they'll see, because we're going through so many different steps to get to that end goal. But like I say, oftentimes a lot of my job is planning, and only one day is execution, but a lot of it is planning and procuring that process. So patience is one thing that I hope that viewers take away.
And on that note, for Dedrick, what do you hope the legacy of Style Kings will be in terms of elevating the profile of Black designers?
Oh man, I think that it would be in a historic moment that will live on in the history of fashion and design, that we were the pioneers to bring this story to light, and for Justin and I to be part of this movement in this moment. you know we just want to pay it forward and basically do our part in sharing the journey and educating individuals and elevating the moment. So I just hope that I think that this is a changing moment for the history of Black fashion, design, and arts and culture, and to be part of a network with aspireTV. That's what they're all about: elevation of Black culture and arts and things of that nature. And I wouldn't. I'm honored to be a part of that movement with them.
What are some key insights or lessons you've learned from collaborating with each other, and how do you apply them to your approach to your craft?
That's a good one. You actually came with some really good questions now.
I,
So,
I try.
No, for me, I wouldn't say it's necessary. Has been learning new things, but I will say it's been confirming a lot of things that's similar in both industries. Attention to detail, right? I've seen a lot of things that Justin has done that parallel what we do when it comes to attention to detail, down to for us, let's say the color of stitching that we use on a garment to make sure it's refined, right? To how we pair that with the right shoes and how we pair it with the right shirt, because it's a borderline between something being amazing and something being corny, and being able to see how he mixes different furniture and different art and different wallpapers and bringing it all together just confirms the same thing that we do on the fashion side when we take a garment and we mix patterns together, right? Everything has to have the right scale. So it's been more for me, man, this is dope. This is confirmation of a lot of different things that we do that parallels each other.
I'm right there with you on that, Dietrich, because even last night's episode, because the show airs each Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So watching the show last night, I was like, wow, like pairing those different patterns that you did for your client is the same way that I would pair,
Yeah.
the drapery with the rug, and mixing those patterns together to create this harmony of an art piece. So yeah, I feel like we it's more confirming, just like Dietrich said on that. because we do have the same process when it comes to what we do, even though they are so different, they are kind of alike in a lot of ways.
Absolutely.
Very good. Gentlemen, my last question for you both, kind of to put a cap on this conversation. What are you each most excited for viewers to experience from your work that we're going to see this season in Style Kings? Justin, if you want to kick that off.
Yeah, I'm so excited for people to see the excitement of my clients, but also to see how different my pieces of work are. And by pieces of work, I mean the spaces, how different they are, but you'll see elements that say Justin Q. Williams designed this. And I'm really excited for people to see that versatility in the overall design of the different spaces that I work on.
Yeah. For me, you know, when I say we, Hadiaki, the company, Hadiaki is actually my middle name. That's the name of the company. And Hadiaki means to build in Japanese. But for me, people always look and see, why do Hadiaki say it's a lifestyle? Well, what I'm more so excited about is to truly let clients see what that truly means when I say it's a lifestyle. It's fashion, you know, it's moments, it's experience, it's the camaraderie of family, friends. I want them to see how clients, you know, how you become a client, then you become friend, you become family. So just the whole mixture of just it's a lifestyle, to see what that truly means, the essence of that. They're going to get that from the show.